In the last video, we laid down a simple kick and snare part. In this video, we're going to look at how to overdub on top of that. Now I'm going to hit Option and the asterisk key to open my recording preferences. And we have a field over here with a bunch of different options that affect how recording is going to work. I'm going to click hold here, and I'm going to go Merge with Selected Regions. So what this will allow me to do now is record on top of this part and have a new part added in. So we're already set up with the playhead at bar 1. I'm going to hit record and we'll get our bar count in. We'll hear the kick and snare, and let's add a hi-hat part on top of that. Alright, I'm going to hit stop, and you'll see now that the new data is merged in with the old, and you see the additional graphic representation of all the notes there. Let's listen back. Alright, you can hear that the performance is pretty sloppy. By the way, I want to mention that when I played that back, you'll notice there was no metronome click, but when we were recording, there was a metronome click. I'm going to open the recording settings. I'll just quickly switch to metronome, and you'll see here that we have click while recording enabled and click while playing disabled, so it automatically puts it on in record mode and turns it off in playback mode, which is what I generally like as a default. Alright, now we hear the notes are pretty sloppy here. We're going to apply a process called quantizing, which is a means of correcting the timing of a performance. Now we get to this under the region parameter box in the upper left of the inspector. I'm going to click hold this disclosure triangle, and we see a bunch of parameters here. The top one is quantize. Now when we record MIDI, notes are placed on a grid. The maximum resolution is 240 ticks per 16th note, or 960 ticks per quarter note. So when I record in parts like I just did, they're placed freely according to my performance. I played pretty sloppily, and I want to correct that. I want to shift the timings over to be right on the grids so that we get straight 16th notes. So I can click hold from a flip menu here and choose different rhythmic values and have it place them on that grid. So now watch when I release the mouse button over 16th note, watch the timing here of these graphic representations change to snap to the nearest 16th note. You see they all just snapped. Let me hit 0 to return to the beginning, and let's listen to that. There we go. So we quantized the part and it sounds nice and straight now. Now let's look at some different ways of overdubbing. I'm going to click Command Z to undo. That undid our quantizing. We're back to off. And undo again. And we're back to our original kick and snare part. And I want to look at a different way of overdubbing now. I'm going to hit Option and the asterisk key to open our record settings again. And instead of merge with selected regions, what I want to do now is create tracks in cycle record. So what I'm going to do is enable that. And now, when I set a cycle up, I can record, and in each pass, it's going to create an additional track. So let me turn on cycle. I can use my key command, the / key on the numeric part of the keyboard, or I can just click the cycle button there, or click in the bar ruler, and it's already set to the default length that I need, but you can resize like that, of course. But let's set it to the 4 bars. We have our kick and snare, and I'm going to hit record, and on each pass, I'm going to record some different parts. Let me just find some other interesting sounds to use. That'll do nicely. So first I'll do a hi-hat part and then some other percussion. I'm going to hit stop, and we see we have all our additional parts here. Here's our kick and snare, there's our hi-hat, then there's the extra percussion, and the new bongo part. Let me rename these. I can rename with the text tool, as we've seen. I can call that kick and snare. Or, I'm going to double hit escape. we can rename in the region parameter box. So let's call that hi-hat. I'll call the next one perk. And finally, bongo. And you'll notice that Logic was smart enough to include the extra bar before because my first note was a little bit off. Now, if we listen to this, it's going to sound pretty sloppy. Nothing's quantized. Now, the advantage of working this way is that we can quantize the individual parts separately. So I can put that to, let's say, 8th notes, because I know that that's just 8th notes. And I can put this to 16th notes. And I'm going to add a bit of swing. I'm going to choose a value with some swing added. And that shifts every second note to the right, so it's closer to the next note, and it gives it a bit of a lilt or a swing. Let's go like that and see what that sounds like. And these two, and I can select both together, I'll put that to 16C as well. And let's hear what that sounds like. And you can change the quantization as it's playing. I'm going to click all three. A little bit straighter, but still with a bit of swing added. Now it's almost like a shuffle. Or I can go to 8th notes. Or quarter notes. So that's how some basic swing works in quantization, and that's how that record mode works. So once again, Option asterisk, and we're in Create Tracks in Cycle Record mode. Useful for this type of thing. So that's it for this video. Stay tuned. In the next video, we're going to continue exploring the other MIDI overdubbing and alternate recording modes.